The NFL draft is over. Most of the offseason moves have been made, and the sweet schedule has been released. You know what that means. It's time for me to give you my prediction for your team's record in 2022. Before I do, don't forget to spike the like button and subscribe to the channel. Help me reach my goal of 40,000 subscribers before the 2022 NFL season begins. The 2022 Buffalo Bills have great expectations. Sure, Brian Daboll has left, but Josh Allen is basically an alien, so I'm not worried. Plus, his already dynamic offense will add the dimension of a pass-catching running back in James Cook. The major difference maker for me could be the improvement on the other side of the football. The defensive line goes out with the old and in with the old. Hughes and Addison leave, Von Miller, Daquan Jones, Jordan Phillips, Tim Settle, and Shaq Lawson enter. That is quietly one of the deepest groups in the NFL. The back end boost will come from first round pick Kaiir Elam, and oh yeah, Tre'Davious White is back. The Bills are the top team in the AFC at 13-4. The Mac Jones jump is coming, Pats fans. Between the diversity in their attack with legit playmakers at wide receiver, running back, and tight end, the chemistry jump from 2021 additions, Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, and the addition of a perimeter playmaker like Devontae Parker, it will make them a lot better offensively than a lot of people think. I don't worry too much about the defense. After all, it is Bill Belichick. With a deep, versatile safety group, Matt Judon, and potential breakout Christian Barmore, they should be just fine. The question will be, does the roster have enough elite to truly compete in this AFC? I have the Pats at 9-8. The pressure is on Tua. 2022 will be defined by his ability to deal with that pressure. After all, Miami has added everything they could and more, from protection to weaponry. Can Mike McDaniel lead and elevate this team the same way Brian Flores did previously? My ultimate questions with the quarterback and the coach are just too strong to make them a playoff team. But my belief in the talent is strong enough to make them a winning unit in 2022. The Finns go 9-8. The Jets have an exciting young group of players. And I get it, it's easy to fall in love with this kind of team. Joe Douglas has done a phenomenal job establishing an identity for the new Jet regime. Dominance at the line of scrimmage. Zach Wilson has some new weapons. First round receiver Garrett Wilson, second round running back Breece Hall, plus an entire new group of tight ends. But let's not lose all semblance of reality here. This team still has a lot to prove. Perhaps it's my lack of faith in the coaching staff to truly get the most out of all this talent. I see a bright future ahead for the Jets, but the departure may not be until 2023. 6-11. The Bengals made the unlikely run to a Super Bowl a year ago. And realizing it was unlikely, instead of staying the same, expecting the same result, the Bengals entered 2022 as an improved roster on paper. On the offensive line, they added 3 new starters, Karras, Kappa, and Collins, and added depth to the secondary using both their first and second round picks on Daxton Hill and Cam Taylor-Britt. Cincy behind Burrow now believe that they can win, and that's a powerful thing. 12-5 and the top cat in the AFC North. The Ravens were incredibly unlucky last season, making a return to form in 2022 likely. And how they will do it is by getting back to Baltimore ball, bully ball. It all starts up front with the offensive line, drafting athletic center Tyler Linderbaum, who will open up space for the returning running backs Dobbins and Edwards. And the new tackle duo of Morgan Moses and Ronnie Stanley will do wonders for Lamar's protection. The emergence of Rashad Bateman in combination with superstar tight end Mark Andrews will be plenty in the pass game. Defensively, strengthening the secondary, specifically at safety with Kyle Hamilton and Marcus Williams, the Ravens are a well-coached, tough football team who win close games due to Lamar's heart and Tucker's leg. 11-6 for the Ravens. This one is difficult for obvious reasons. How many games will Deshaun Watson play in 2022? If Watson plays, how much will Stefanski's identity shift with Watson under center? My sense is the power run game will be the heart of the offense still, led by Chubb and Hunt, adding a splash of Deshaun's magic. If they can survive Watson's suspension, the Browns will be about hitting their stride at the right time. And if the defense can elevate and play better against the top AFC foes, they can be dangerous. There are still a lot of questions to be answered, but for now, the Browns go 9-8. Basically, every Steeler fan believes this team is better than it is, based squarely on faith. Faith that Mike Tomlin has empowered Steelers fans with due to his consistent track record of winning. But that winning was done with Big Ben, making this, like it or not, a transition season for the Steelers. Whether it is Pickett or Trubisky, a QB with a much slower processing speed in his brain will put this weak offensive line in a bad spot. I simply do not trust a Matt Canada-led offense, and even if I believe in the defense, it's not great enough to carry this team to the playoffs in this division. Pittsburgh finally sees a losing season at 7-10. The Indianapolis Colts pride themselves on being balanced. This offseason, they greatly improved their pass game ability on both sides of the football. The biggest improvement being Matt Ryan over Carson Wentz. Matt Ryan's maturity, leadership, and consistency he brings week to week changes this team in my eyes, improving the drop back passing game through his decision making and accuracy. Paired with Frank Reich, the elite coach and play caller that no one talks about, Jonathan Taylor and their already unstoppable power run game, it makes the Colts a tough matchup offensively for any defense. On the other side of the ball, the Colts quietly improved an already formidable defense, again in the pass game, by adding proven pass rusher Yannick Ngakoue and legit number one cornerback Stephon Gilmore. This might be the sleeping giant of the AFC, 11-6. A step back seems inevitable for the Titans. The loss of A.J. Brown and key cogs like Roger Saffold signal a step back in 2022. To top it all off, I'm just not that high on the Todd Downing and Tannehill combo. And without his trusted top target, it's hard to trust a rookie receiver and a receiver coming off an injury to replace that production. I respect Mike Vrabel, especially after his success in 2021. And if the team wants to get back to the playoffs, it will be in the hands of his defense. The young and promising secondary, can it take a leap? Maybe. I just see the Titans as competitive, but not really a big threat. I'm going 8-9. I really respect Doug Peterson and believe he is a massive upgrade over the joke that was there previously. It also makes it incredibly difficult to judge just how much he might upgrade this team. The experience of Peterson and Mike McCoy should help keep Trevor Lawrence composed in his second season. But Jacksonville has one problem. I just can't get past it. The man in the front office. Despite a lot of money spent and draft picks used, so many investments, so little to show for it, the Jags are still not very good. Yes, the defense has talent at every level, but there isn't enough talent around Trevor Lawrence. Jags improve, but are still not very good, 5-12. The Texans still have a long way to go. I'm not sold that they have the long-term answer at quarterback or coach, and there is a lot of solid on this roster, don't get me wrong, but when there is no coach or quarterback to elevate this solid group of veteran talent, you're not going to be a very good team because you don't have enough playmakers, you do not have enough great. The Texans are still one of the worst teams in football, 3-14. 2022 is time for the Chargers to bolt up. Justin Herbert's time is now. The personnel improvement defensively was drastic. Up front, big people everywhere. Austin Johnson, Sebastian Joseph Day, Morgan Fox. Pass rush, you add Khalil Mack. A versatile vet, you get Kyle Van Noy. And don't forget about the secondary. Legit shutdown cornerback in any scheme, J.C. Jackson comes from New England. And top nickelback when healthy, Bryce Callahan. These additions now allow Brandon Staley to play his scheme how he wants to. It creates incredible week-to-week flexibility, and best of all, it is built to stop the best offenses in the AFC. This team is no longer just an offensive-driven squad. They are a team, and that's why the Chargers will not charger in 2022. 12-5. A return to greatness is on the horizon for the Raiders. It's crazy how little attention and hype Josh McDaniels is getting. I may be biased, but I believe this is the best Raider regime in years. The Raiders will finally play with detail and versatility on both sides of the football. And no one has added more depth to their roster this offseason. Josh McDaniels will maximize Derek Carr's intellectual strengths, and I think we just saw the beginning of Derek Carr's prime a year ago. Yes, I said it. Good luck matching up with the skill group of Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, and Josh Jacobs. Being able to deploy a dangerous edge duo like Chandler Jones and Max Crosby, that also doesn't hurt. The Raiders are ready to rumble 11-6. Sure, will losing Tyreek Hill and opting for youth set back this team short term? Probably, but it was probably the right call for Kansas City. Even if the Chiefs aren't quite as explosive or dominant as years past, let's not overthink this. The Chiefs, even without Tyreek Hill, are still going to be good. I have enough faith in Mahomes and Reed to get them to the postseason and double-digit wins. The question is, will they have enough in the playoffs? 11-6. For the Chiefs. The Broncos finally have a quarterback who can elevate the rest of the roster. The question is, how great is this roster truly? Have we been overrating it this entire time, or will it shine as expected? Does Russell Wilson still have the magic? I refuse to bet against him. He's the type of leader and personality to make people believe and bring people together. I'm just not sure if this new coaching staff can fully capitalize on it. I think there are way too many questions here that people just don't want to admit exist. This is more Brady to the Bucks than Stafford to the Rams, except there isn't a Mike Evans here. And Russell Wilson, as great as he is not Tom Brady. Despite all my questions, I think they make it work. Enough for a double-digit win season, 10-7. Before we move to the NFC, make sure you sign up to Underdog Fantasy today. Best ball is my favorite way to play fantasy football. No waivers, no trades, no problem. Follow the link in the description and use the code BLV to shoot your shot at Best Ball Mania 3. Best Ball Mania 3 is the biggest season-long fantasy contest ever. $2 million to first place, $1 million to second, and $1 million to the regular season champion. And the champ last year, he drafted in June, so it's never too early for some best ball on Underdog Fantasy. That's the code BLV, and I'll see you there. The Eagles are arguably the strongest team on both sides of the line of scrimmage in the NFL. And when you can say that, that is a pretty strong indication you're going to be pretty good. You add James Bradbury and AJ Brown on the perimeter of the offense and defense, and you are looking at the most talented team in the NFC East. The question that everybody is asking is, can Jalen Hurts break out and be a consistent enough passer to take this team from playoff team to contender? I'm not really sure about that, but I think the rest of the team is good enough to give him a chance. 11-6. Oh, Cowboys. Can you break your trend of inconsistency? One year you make the playoffs, the next you miss, make, miss. Dak Prescott is still, without a doubt, the most trusted quarterback in this division, but there is no question the Cowboys did lose talent. Lose Amari Cooper and Cedric Wilson, lose your right tackle and left guard, lose Randy Gregory. A defense that was almost entirely dependent on turnovers. Is that good, or is that not repeatable? This just screams a Cowboys team that won't be able to repeat its 2021 success, but they still have enough talent to remain in the fight. 9-8. As much hate as Carson Wentz gets, he's better than what they've had previously at the position in Washington. In front of him, the offensive line is probably the most underrated unit in the NFL. The skill group of McLaurin, Dotson, Samuel, Thomas, Gibson, McKissick is certainly not too shabby. If the defense can bounce back, Washington has a chance to be the sneaky solid team of the NFC. But I think this team takes on the identity of their quarterback, which is inconsistent. Washington goes 7-10, again. Did the G-Men go from the most clueless coaching staff to the most promising one? I think so. Brian Daboll is a wizard of a play caller, a offensive mind who can get the best out of Golladay, Tony, and Saquon. Did the G-Men go from the absolute worst offensive line to a decent one? I think so. John Feliciano, Max Garcia, Mark Glowinski, Evan Neal. 3 or 4 new starters to protect Daniel Jones and allow Saquon to not get tackled as soon as he gets the ball. Oh, and don't underestimate what Wink Martindale can do with a defense, especially one with Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence wrecking interior offensive lines. If Daniel Jones can turn his flashes into something steady, this team has a much bigger upside than anyone is giving them credit for. 7-10 for the G-Men. Back-to-back MVP Aaron Rodgers has his best defense, on paper at least, since his early starting days. Combine that with Matt LaFleur's play calling and a strong running game, I'm not too worried about the Packers' playoff chances, but no trustworthy go-to wide receiver will definitely hurt Rodgers and this offense on key downs and moments. There is no bigger Christian Watson fan than me. You guys know that. But it's a lot to ask to replace Davante Adams. I think that leads to a couple more down games than usual. 11-6. Watch out for the Vikings. They are sneaky good and had a sneaky strong off season. I'm especially intrigued to see how Kevin O'Connell's play calling can take Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and this passing game to the next level. Defensively, Ed Donatel will bring more of a Fangio scheme to the table, featuring the new duo of pass rushers Danielle Hunter and Zadarius Smith, who they stole from their greatest rival. Jordan Hicks joins Eric Kendricks at linebacker, and a new and improved youthful secondary boosted by first-round pick safety Lewis Cine and cornerback Andrew Booth and nickel Chandon Sullivan. This balanced Vikings team should reclaim a spot in the playoffs at 9-8. Lions fans, I love you guys, but you guys need to slow your roar. They are not all the way there yet, mostly because they do not have the quarterback yet, guys. Jared Goff can manage you a game, but I don't think he's winning you that many. I do love the offensive line and the weapons, especially adding the home run big play weapons of Jamison Williams and DJ Chark. But again, is Goff the guy to maximize these weapons? Aiden Hutchinson could be the difference-making pass rusher that you guys have been waiting for. But the defense still needs work. The Lions improve for sure, and will be as feisty as ever, but just not good enough to truly contend for a playoff spot. 6-11. This is the worst Bears roster in years, for the most promising Bears quarterback in years. Yeah, that about adds up. To be fair, 2022 seems like an on-purpose step backwards for Chicago. I just wish there was more to be excited about offensively. Another receiving option outside of Darnell Mooney, or some actual pass protection. Let's just hope that the Bears go all in next offseason, because this roster ain't it, folks. 3-14. Are people really sleeping on Tom Brady again? Didn't this guy just lead the NFL in yards and touchdowns last year? I swear, if I see one more power ranking with the Bucs outside of the top 5, the strongest team in the NFC, top to bottom, is back, and just as big of a threat to win the Super Bowl as ever. The secondary injuries, the AB drama, the Wirfs and Godwin injuries at the wrong time, I doubt all that stuff happens again. And if they do, Tampa has added reinforcements. The Bucs dominate at 14-3. The Saints have one of the best supporting casts in the NFL, but will it be coached the same way without Sean Payton? I really love the defense, especially what they have done with the secondary. It's deep and it's hybrid. Offensively, Alvin Kamara is still there. Michael Thomas returns. You add Chris Olave and Jarvis Landry, and you might have a receiving core that is light years more intriguing than last year. Can Jameis Winston return healthy, mistake-free, and lead this team? I also wonder how Penning will be replacing Armstead at left tackle as a rookie. But I think this team is too talented to not be highly competitive in a weak NFC, even without Mr. Payton. 9-8. As long as Sam Darnold is under center, I can't trust an otherwise talented roster to do much in 2022. It's as simple as When your two biggest question marks are your quarterback and your coach, you aren't winning much in the modern NFL. I hope we get to see Matt Corral sooner rather than later. The Panthers go 4-13. Going from Matt Ryan to Marcus Mariota is a significant drop-off. The offensive line might now get exposed without Ryan there to protect them by getting the ball out quick. Can Patterson really repeat his spectacular 2021? I doubt it. The defense lacks a lot of big-time playmakers, but at least the London and Pitts combo should be fun to watch. But man, Arthur Smith and Dean Pease pulled off magic winning 7 games last year. I don't know how they did it, and I don't know how they win more than 5 without Matt Ryan. 3-14. The Rams are the reigning, defending champs because their studs reign supreme. The Stafford to Cup connection, as close as unstoppable as you can get. Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey elevate everybody around them on defense. Allen Robinson takes over for OBJ. Bobby Wagner and Troy Hill are added or added back. It is a sketchy offensive line, but I think the Rams finish with the same record as last regular season, 12-5. The Trey Lance era begins. How Shanahan manages his arm and capitalizes on his legs in order to add another layer to the best schemed running game in the NFL will probably be the most exciting element of this team. I'm worried about Lance's consistency and accuracy as a passer, but it certainly helps that you have Debo, Kittle, and Ayuk. It also helps to have a really good defense that could be even better in 2022. DeMeco Ryans elevated this unit a year ago, and now has the corners led by Charvarius Ward to mix in more man-to-man coverage. Shanahan works his magic, and the 49ers once again enter the playoffs as a dark horse at 10-7. I'm worried about the Cards this season. There is way too much pressure on Kyler Murray, especially early in the season, to make things happen. We saw how this team performed without D-Hop last year, and now he's suspended for 6 games. I'm worried about the defense. No elite edge rusher, no elite cornerback. They didn't even address their interior run defense. Sure, Hollywood Brown is cool, but isn't he just a Christian Kirk replacement? The season will come down to whether or not Cliff can evolve, adapt, and get over the end of the season struggles. Cause if not, I fear for his future. The Cards fall to 7-10. Geno Smith or Drew Lock? How about no thank you? No Russell Wilson will expose just how much he was carrying this franchise, and Pete's true colors will show, for better or worse. The tackles are a problem. The defense doesn't have a ton of difference makers. The weapons are impressive, explosive, and fun, but the rebuild is underway. The Hawks have their first bad season in a while, 3-14. Thank you guys for watching my record predictions. Let me know yours in the comment section below. It's Mitch. Peace.